right, so everybody's trying to create the Tesla killer, and Lucid is no different, except they have now put themselves, I think, in a position which is somewhat of a collision course with Tesla. We're going to drill down into this today. My name is Paul Barron. This is Tech Path, where we jump into EV, AI, and all things tech. And today, a topic has to be addressed, and that is Lucid Motors and their recent deal, of course, with CCIV. CCIV, first of all, luxury. First of all, Lucid, for those of you maybe checking this out for the first time, they're a luxury EV car maker. Basically, they're trying to go public. They've obviously doing a great job in terms of their spin, I think. But the big move really is the merger with Klein, Churchill's Capital Corp, which is a big thing because I think this is where we see these SPACs, special acquisition companies, that are essentially taking companies like a Lucid into the market and really kind of bumping them up to the next level in terms of raising not only awareness but also capital. So Churchill Capital initiated talks with investors to raise more than $1 billion by selling shares in a private investment in public PIPE. Transition with the deal, Lucid, this was basically from Lucid sources, and the size of the PIPE could reach $1.5 billion or more based on investor demand. This is going to be interesting to watch. Lucid is now in a position, if this merger goes through, first of all, if you haven't been watching, CCIV has had a great bump, definitely printing some tendies out there, and I think a lot of people who have invested in CCIV and kind of look and did some pre-research on this is definitely doing some money banking right now. CCIV is definitely on the track. The interesting thing that I thought was and there's a guy that you should check out on YouTube called Meet Kevin. He does an analysis on this around the valuation of Lucid, which I thought was a very interesting analysis, and that was the whole aspect of what would be the valuation of the company. If they come in at 15 million, the valuation multiples start to play out in the stock price. At 12.5 million, which is what they came out on at 12.5 million, it really made a difference where many investors and many day traders could really make a move on Lucid Motors. Now, what does all this mean? Does it mean that Lucid can actually catch up with Tesla? All right, so let's kind of put that. First of all, I'm not an EV expert. I'm an EV enthusiast. I do a lot of research on this, and I really dive into the experts that know their shit. And one of them is a guy by the name of Sandy Munro. Now, Sandy Munro, everybody's probably seen him on YouTube. He's the old guy. I shouldn't say old guy. He's the gentleman that is out there killing it with really breaking down. He was one of the first to really kind of take a Tesla apart, look at the inners of it, and really define whether or not this vehicle could do what everybody was thinking it could do and what Elon, of course, has designed it to do, and that is revolutionize the automotive industry. Now, when you look at what Sandy is talking about, when he compares Lucid Motors and Tesla and whether or not they can catch them, meaning Lucid catching Tesla, even with the deal with CCIV, and all of this new bank that they've got coming into the company and developing a lot of software, really getting their manufacturing in line. Here's where it kind of boils down. And these are actual statements from Sandy Munro on basically a line list on whether or not, and whether or not Lucid can actually catch Tesla or any other EV company can actually catch Tesla. And I think that's going to be the question. I'll reserve my opinion for the last, but we'll run down these points. One other thing, if you haven't had a chance to check out the video where Sandy Munro and Elon actually go head to head on discussion points, where Elon is actually visiting Sandy Munro, who basically is an automotive engineer, has been an automotive engineer for Detroit for, I think, 30 plus years. And his idea, and the Munro and Associates basically is a company that helps other automotive manufacturers create efficiencies in their manufacturing line. So that's kind of the basis of where all of this data is coming from. So basically what Munro is stating is that Tesla's 5 years ahead in the electronics technology over anybody that's out there. So even if they got started today, Tesla's already 5 years out. And if Tesla just doesn't do anything, just sits still, it still is, 5 years in EV and AI development is a lifetime. So I just don't see any kind of scenario that this is going to change. We're going to continue to see Tesla lead in the electronic side. The other thing is 10 years ahead in chipsets. This is a big deal because Tesla is actually manufacturing and developing their own chipsets, which is creating a whole new infrastructure of how automotive cars are going to be built. Manufacturing efficiency, and he says they're 10 years ahead there. Manufacturing efficiencies by years. They're already ahead in battery technology. As you guys know, if you've watched Battery Day and you understand enough about EVs, this is a huge deal with Tesla's move on where Battery Day technology was revealed and how Tesla is trying to improve the efficiencies of battery tech. The other thing is he claims that nobody can catch this company at all, and there's one big reason. As you may know, Tesla has, of course, started to go to this single casting model for, especially for the Model Y and now I think the Model 3. But the idea is the single cast, it starts to remove all these parts, but more importantly, it removes the robots, it removes the floor plan needed to manufacture many of these parts, and also the line in which it requires. This completely changes the dynamics of a manufacturing point. But the bigger killer, because everybody's saying, well, all right, so someone figures out how to cast, a single unit, and they put it in a Lucid. No problem, right? Wrong. The big problem here is that Tesla has created basically metallurgy that doesn't exist. So their material 386 is the one that I'm talking about. And Monroe talks about this and basically states that this is something they've never seen in manufacturing before. So Tesla basically got some materials from the aliens, they brought it down here, they remanufactured it, and they put this stuff into a single mode casting, because with casting, you've got to use this massive pressure and heat process, and very few systems can be able to do that. So can anyone replicate the efficiencies that Tesla is doing in terms of their casting situation, which is going to make their Cybertruck and their new Model X and Model S refreshes just get more efficient and more efficient with manufacturing. You put all these things together, Tesla is just absolutely too far ahead already. They've started a mile out in front of everybody in the race, and it is, even if everybody's running at the same speed, which is everybody's starting to catch up, these companies, Lucid, would have to increase their productivity, have to increase their technology, basically by a magnitude of 10 just to catch them, and that's only if Tesla was standing still. So you know that's not going to be the case. Elon's going to continue to push the metal here, and I think when we look at companies that, including GM and including Detroit and including China, this is a company that right now, unless Tesla makes a bad U-turn, makes something absolutely a horrific issue starts to happen, I do not see, and many experts agree, that Tesla is an uncatchable force in the EV industry. We are going to watch this very closely because there's going to be a lot of horses in this race trying to outpace what Tesla is doing. Make sure and stay tuned right here on TechPath. We're going to dive into those types of topics on an ongoing basis. If you'd like someone to maybe get on an interview here on TechPath, which we do, just shoot us an email to producer@revernetworks.com, or you can hit me up on Twitter @Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.